When severe flooding or extreme weather hits rural India, the physical roads connecting a village to the rest of the country are almost always the first infrastructure to wash away. That leaves communities completely isolated at the exact moment they need help the most. State fire services and the National Disaster Response Force are highly capable, but they operate from regional hubs, often hours away by ground transport. In emergency medicine, there is a concept known as the golden hour. It is that critical 60-minute window immediately following trauma where the odds of survival are highest. Once that hour passes without medical or logistical intervention, mortality rates spike. And it's not just washed-out roads. An industrial accident or a severe train derailment can scatter tons of twisted metal across the terrain, instantly choking off any remaining ground routes for ambulances. Meanwhile, threats like encroaching forest fires don't wait for a convoy to arrive. They move rapidly, often accelerating overnight, consuming land much faster than human response teams can deploy. The standard emergency model of deploying aid from a distant city relies on an assumption of clear roads and ample time. When both vanish, survival depends entirely on having life-saving infrastructure already sitting inside the village at minute zero. As the physical roads fail, the digital pathways usually follow. Severe storms and floods easily knock out the local power grids and sever the lines feeding the cellular towers. For national agencies trying to coordinate a rescue, the affected district suddenly goes entirely dark. Without data coming out, command centers cannot assess the scale of the damage or pinpoint exactly where to send their limited helicopters and ground crews. That creates a steep logistical hurdle. Rescuers need to simultaneously reestablish a line of sight over the disaster zone and deliver physical medical aid, all while cut off from the local cellular network. You can see how this cascades. A single localized failure severs the digital lifelines of surrounding districts, expanding the blackout zone outward. In those critical early moments, the outcome of the golden hour comes down to one objective: getting eyes back in the sky and putting precise, targeted payloads into the hands of the people trapped below. To solve this, Ojas Aerospace developed the Meghdev Drone Station. Instead of dispatching technology from the city, these modular command hubs are installed permanently on the edges of rural villages. They are built to operate completely off the grid. With their own integrated solar arrays and battery banks, these stations power themselves even if the entire regional electrical grid collapses. When local cell towers fail, the station doesn't go offline. It automatically fails over to a VSAT satellite uplink. This is crucial. Indian aviation regulations require a digital token to fly. Bypassing DET networks, the station pulls this permission from orbit, unlocking the rotors. Inside the container sits a certified local pilot. Because they live in the community, they already know the local terrain, the population centers, and the high-risk flood zones, allowing them to initiate the emergency protocol without waiting for a briefing. With the infrastructure already in place, an isolated village transforms into an active, data-driven command hub in under 5 minutes. The pilot immediately launches a heavily fortified, type-certified drone straight into the severe weather to begin the search and rescue sweep. Time is the enemy here. To accelerate the search, the drone relies on thermal infrared imaging. It can look straight through thick smoke or pitch-black forest canopies, detecting the body heat of missing persons who would be invisible to the naked eye. Everything the drone sees is beamed as 4K video and precise GPS coordinates back to the local station, which then securely syncs that data outward to national disaster response teams. Once a victim is located, the mission shifts from intelligence gathering to physical intervention. The station dispatches heavy-lift logistics drones capable of carrying up to 70 liters of critical cargo. This allows operators to load defibrillators, life-saving antivenom, or heavy emergency rations. Navigating washed-out terrain, the drone arrives at the exact coordinates and uses a winch mechanism to lower the sealed supply crate safely to the ground. By combining precise aerial surveillance with high-capacity cargo delivery, the drone station bridges the gap, finding the victims and sustaining them until the ground units finally break through. When the National Disaster Response Force finally arrives at the district line, they aren't walking in blind. They deploy directly to the exact concrete debris sites mapped out by the local drone station hours earlier. The local pilot acts as a dynamic air traffic controller for the arriving ground crews, using the live aerial feed to route them safely around spreading flash floods and unstable structures. Instead of spending the first critical days conducting slow, grid-by-grid physical searches, responders execute a targeted, highly efficient extraction, and the drones keep flying. They return to the container hub just long enough for a quick battery swap before launching straight back into the airspace to monitor the next zone. This system integrates a local pilot's intimate community knowledge directly into the national rescue grid, turning the aviation hardware into a precision tool for the ground forces. Beyond emergency response, establishing these hubs creates a lasting impact on how a community views its own capabilities. Because every station also serves as a registered training organization, local youth and entrepreneurs gain DGCA certification on site. This provides the village with its own team of professional pilots, prepared to serve as a permanent line of defense. Now, imagine scaling that capability. What begins as a single modular port in one district expands into hundreds of interconnected nodes across the country, constantly communicating and sharing data. Permanent local infrastructure removes the total dependence on outside aid. These villages now possess the tools to actively monitor and protect their own community safety. By embedding technology directly into the village, Ojas Aerospace moves the point of first response from distant cities to the front lines, building a digitally resilient Bharat from the ground up.